Hi everyone, it's Jerry. In yesterday's video, I shared with you game 3 of 5 between LeelaQueenOdds and Grandmaster Mikuláš Maník. That was the game I found most interesting. In this video, I'm going to share with you the remaining 4 games. I think it could be interesting taken as a whole to see how they all played out. I'll be sharing them in real time. It'll be the first I'm viewing them in real time as well, and I'll just be providing some light comments throughout. So time controls here are 3 plus 2. So this here, game 1 of 4. Let's see how it went. Things are healthy here for both knights, already with a nice center here. Bishop g5, immediately kicked. Maybe looking to target h6 at some point. Actually, I was ready to say with queen to d2. No, there's no queen. All right, early queen move. There was a threat. There's a pin there on e4. Quickly out of that. Queen getting kicked around. Nice development for white. Nearby knight b3. This queen is already somewhat short on squares. Here. She could be challenged with a3. Here is their knight b5. Okay. a3. Okay, this took away g4. a3 and the queen is nearly out of squares. In fact, I think she is out of squares. Queen here, g3, and she was going to be trapped shortly. Wow. Possible follow-up bishop there. Okay, so black is still up material, but at this point, not a whole lot of material. Just a knight. Imbalance here. Central rooks. How to stir up trouble. Well, how to consolidate here is black. How to get some trades in here. You could go with this move, but it's going to cost you a pawn. Okay, pitching a pawn here to grant the knight access to this square. Okay, now with this bishop pair, it's always super dangerous. These knights. Okay, there's a passed pawn that Leela could work with now, c5. Babysitting this pawn. This is really dangerous. I mean, right around the corner, there's c6, c7 with the fork. Oh, now there's connected passers. There's the blockade square. Knight c6 to hold things up. Now the king enters. It is the endgame. Another trade. Only 2 pieces and these connected passers to work with. This point could be challenged. So eventually bishop b5, something like that. Not sure what king d3 is about exactly. Bishop b5, maybe there's knight here, yeah. Bishop b5, there'd be a knight check. The bishop would be lost. So not so easy to challenge this knight here. Maybe bishop c8. What's the clock time here? 2 minutes remaining only. If you push here, you're going to drop that pawn. Rook backing off. It seems like there isn't really much progress to be made here. Swipes a pawn. More simplification. Okay, now it's down to a rook advantage, but these 2 connected passers, yeah, they could definitely be dangerous. Another pawn down for the count, ready to swipe another one. The pawns continue to march. King's going to have to come over to blockade. All right, now we're looking at a rook-specific ending. There's no longer a material advantage. Passed pawns here. This is the more dangerous. Yeah. Tough day ahead at this point for black. The king is cut off as well. Less than 2 minutes remaining for black. Leela banking time here, as usual. More than 4 minutes. 3 passers. Yeah, he's going to go down for the count shortly here. A check. This pawn is going to be pushing through shortly. Yeah, mate in 1 threat. No great way to stop it. And yeah, no great way to stop it here. And I think we have a resigner right about now. He's still thinking about it. Clock is still ticking here. I don't believe it goes all the way down to 0. Okay, and he resigned right there. Gave some seconds there to think that one through. Yeah, you're going to get a queen no matter what. Queen versus rook. No chance there. All right, moving on. Let's check out game number 2. Just hopping right to it. Okay, a b3 start with this one. Oh, double fianchetto. Oh, well, actually, I was juked there, so no bishop there straight away. A quick removal. Flank pawn traded for a center pawn there. And track down a knight for bishop. So these bishops are still around, both pointing at these center squares. Directly, indirectly. Another case of queenside castles, another case of queenside castles. That's why I thought it could be kind of interesting. Maybe you pick up different, viewing the 4 games, you pick up maybe a pattern. Second time here for queenside castles. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Gave up the queen, and in exchange, we're now looking at an imbalance here. 2 knights. A 2 knights advantage. Position simplified. Nice and central rooks. Seems like a perfectly solid strategy so far. G4, taking away a square from a bishop. Okay, now questioning the knight. Usually, we see this frequently. This invasive pawn. Not necessarily this square, but just a pawn planted on the enemy side of the board. It's already a threat here to maybe take the knight and win a pawn. Okay, we do get that. As well as a damaged structure. So now there is a passed pawn for Leela to work with. Cutting out the knight jump. That's a big pivot square for many pieces. Keeping that second piece on board. Knight is hit. This pawn, yeah, okay, the knight is going to fall. So no time to try and take advantage of this pin on the second rank. Knight falls back. Leela's out of the pin. No tricks on D3 anymore. And I imagine we're going to be getting... Yeah, I think that a-pawn runs shortly. Okay, that's another pawn down for the count, and we are now looking at 5 passed pawns. Follow up, I imagine that these two, this construction, you probably want to stay put here to tame the bishop. Now all pawns are passed. Wow. Okay, clock times here. 2 minutes, 15 seconds for the GM. Knight under control by the rook. Typical configuration, rook dominates the knight. When they're arranged like this, same diagonal, square between them. Problem here, you can't defend it with bishop e6, it would hang. So another pawn down for the count. We get a rook exchange, so still up the 2 minors, but this is a race position. Not at all easy for the human to calculate these race positions with the clock ticking away here. H4, B6. Next up, B7, B8, prepared to sacrifice if the pawn advances again. Bishop is under fire. Rook G2 looked like a mouse slip, actually. Yeah, clock's still ticking a little bit. Maybe once more, doesn't resign right away. I believe that's what's... Okay, yeah, okay, he resigned a little bit sooner that time, so... Just having a little think through before hitting the resign button. I believe what was intended with this one is rook here. And how might Leela have followed up? Not entirely sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think, yeah, actually, maybe this, and then push. No, that's not quite working. Yeah, that's not working out exactly. Actually, this is an interesting line. I don't want to spend too much time reviewing the games, but I think what might happen if knight takes rook, yeah, this pawn is pushing through. We're going to get a queen there. Yeah, it was probably still going to be very, very difficult, even if there wasn't that mouse slip there. Yeah. Okay, let's check out game number 4 of 5. Here we go. In E3, start. I mean, that last game, yeah, that was looking pretty good there. Yeah, getting some simplification in there. The 2 knights advantage. Okay. And early on in this one, invasive pawn. Bishop actually already running short on squares. This bishop is cooked, isn't it? Bishop got stuck in the center. Wow. Okay. So not as great an imbalance here with the material. Another pawn down. What imbalance are we working with exactly? It's a knight versus, I'm sorry, a dark square bishop versus a queen and pawn so far. Isn't this knight scary? Okay, giving up another pawn to open lines, I imagine. Got a rook exchange in. Doesn't seem like too bad of a trade-off. B7 is under fire. Okay, swiping the H pawn. These look really menacing over here. There's a check potentially in the air on F6. Okay, the king is out of that. Where's the queen go here? Oh, the knight drops in. Ooh. Okay, I think we have a resigner here. Yeah, this is a resigner coming up. He's having a few seconds thought here. The queen is actually toast at the end here. Yeah, it's a resigner. 24 mover. Queen is down for the count. Okay. Let's check out the final game. Here we go. Game 5 coming up. All right, F4 start. The birds. Birds opening here. Look at the like creepy crawler advance. Baby stepping it, losing a tempo. Just to get that pawn there on E4 once more. Once more, we are seeing queenside castle opposite the queen. Chop on E5. So I guess after this game 5, GM had enough. Queen is under fire now. Where to go? Okay, the plan there. I've seen that recommended in the comments. Some viewers pointing out, why not just, sacrifice and simplify? Easier said than done. All right. So a rook advantage only at this point. Well centralized rooks. Trade here. But these pesky bishops, I think, hey, it would be really good if you could get this particular exchange in. Okay, C3, taming the knight, the bishop, the rook, extracting a lot out of that one pawn move. Important square to cover. You don't want to have to work around a piece in your camp. D4. This knight is under control. Got that F4 square covered. Now looking for some simplification there. Bishop F4, knight F4, knight's there covering it. Okay, F5, rook opposite the king. Bishop takes knight could be a move. Maybe F4, bishop takes knight. That is in fact a threat. Okay, that was missed right there. After chop, this idea to push and then swipe here. Okay, so some material one here. We're looking at what kind of imbalance now. 4 pawns and a rook. 4 pawns, a rook and knight versus 2 bishops. Okay, these bishops are just so good. Pawn is blockaded. I'm definitely not going to get this exchange in there. That would simplify too much. Being stripped to just the one bishop, much easier for a human. But remains difficult. I mean, look at what both bishops are doing. There's these open lines for the rooks, but all of the entry points are covered. Okay, we get the rook exchange. And now, not quite a passed pawn, but we might as well regard it as a candidate passed pawn. Yeah, A4 in time. Okay, and this was clearly, overlooked here. Bishop here, the rook is pinned. We're no longer looking at really any imbalance. In fact, white is now winning. There's no stopping this A pawn, and I think we have a resigner here in this 5th game. Clock's still ticking a little bit. Yeah, and this is as far as this one goes. I think it should stop any second. Maybe spending a little bit more time before hitting the resign button here. Yeah, the clock just is still running a little bit. Yeah, this one goes no further, though. This was move 30. Okay, it stopped just then. This was move 34 for this 5th, and as it turns out, final game between these two. I don't know if there'll be more games played later on, but that's how these remaining 4 games went. Thing that stuck out to me, well, we saw a couple strategies where the queen is sacrificed for some other piece, and it simplified a bit, and but it still manages to drum up some trouble. A lot of queenside castles games. Yeah, that stuck out to me. Just one final note, if you want to try and play this for yourself, it's not the same, keep in mind, if you don't have experience with it just yet, it's not the same as playing Stockfish with piece odds. This is, I mean, how exactly to describe it? Leela is like Liam Neeson, a very particular set of skills. You have to really experience it yourself. So if you go to the profile, click on the link, select an appropriate time control, breaks it down in the profile, and make sure you select black and give it a go yourself and report back, see how things went either way. Anyhow, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed it and maybe took a thing or two away. That's all for now. Take care.